Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You're now 57 years of age, is that correct?
Yes.
And you live in the New York area?
Yes.
And you told us that there was a situation when you were 19 when you caused the death of somebody?
Yes.
And what were the circumstances of that?
You want me to describe how I killed somebody?
I do.
I stabbed him in the heart.
And what was the reason that you stabbed the fella in the heart?
I lost my temper. He threatened me. This was going on a beef for a while. It was a group home. It wasn't really a good setting.
And you were 19 at the time?
Oh, wow, yes, counselor. Yes.
All right, just relax.
And were you arrested?
I surrendered.
And you pled guilty?
Absolutely.
And you got a 0 to 3 sentence?
Yes, counselor.
You did less than 2 years, right?
Yes, sir.
And you weren't sentenced as a youthful offender, right?
No, I was not.
I mean, you were an adult at that time?
Yes, counselor.
Now, after that situation, you later got involved in different types of welfare fraud, is that right?
No, only one type of welfare fraud.
Okay, tell us about that, sir.
I got paid when I should not have gotten paid.
How did you do that?
I applied and I received benefits.
And you were not entitled to benefits, is that right?
I was not.
Because you were working at the time?
I was absolutely working.
And you also were involved in some type of check fraud, you told us?
Yes, counselor.
Keep your voice up.
I was trying to make sure I wasn't being so loud this time.
No, just do it the right way.
Okay. Sorry about that, Your Honor.
There was credit card fraud that you did?
Yes, sir.
And you did some kind of check fraud for $100,000?
Yes.
How did that work?
You have people who set up accounts that can receive such an amount, and they deposit them. You have to wait. And if it goes through, you're a winner. If it doesn't, you're a loser.
And where would the checks come from?
Mailroom. Mailrooms. Corporate mailrooms.
And how would you get the checks?
Somebody would give them to me.
Had they been stolen?
Absolutely, counselor.
So if I understand this, somebody was working in mailroom, right?
Yes.
Checks would come in for a company for whom they were working, right?
Yes.
They would steal the checks, right?
Yes.
They would give them to you, right?
Or give to them a third party to give to me.
But you would get them somehow?
Yes, sir.
And you would endorse a check as if you were the person that...
No, I wouldn't do anything. I would pass it off to be taken care.
To whom did you pass it off?
I passed it off to Abu Bakr Abdul Rahim and KC.
And the idea was that somebody would put a false endorsement on the back of the check and collect the money, right?
Yes, sir.
And if that was successful, you would get some money because you were in the chain, right?
Yes.
And how much money did you make from those schemes?
Only once. $5,000.
And you were arrested for that, is that right?
No.
Never?
No.
You were arrested in Poughkeepsie for something, is that right?
Possession of stolen property.
Credit cards?
Yes.
That's where you did 90 days, right?
Yes, sir.
So the situation with the stolen checks, where you made $5,000, you never got arrested for that?
No.
And then you and Taz did at least one robbery, right?
Where in the hell did you get that from?
You can answer yes or no.
Okay. Good. No. Well, yeah, no. Sorry, Your Honor.
Well, you and Taz never did a robbery?
Not that I know of.
Did you ever have a sawed-off shotgun?
Well, I never had a sawed-off shotgun, no.
Well, did you and Taz ever jointly possess a sawed-off shotgun?
I don't recall that at all.
Well, is it that it might have happened and you don't recall, or it didn't happen?
Counselor, you asked me, did me and Taz rob somebody? No.
Just answer the question. He asked you if you had a sawed-off shotgun or you and Taz had one. It's a simple question, yes or in.
I don't remember if me and Taz had owned a sawed-off shotgun.
You don't remember that?
No,
Okay. And do you remember whether you ever shot anybody with a sawed-off shotgun?
I never shot nobody in my entire life.
You pulled out a gun. This was a situation where you used the Chinese blackjack?
Yes, sir.
What was that all about?
Oh, the guy had intentions of robbing me, and I was just letting him know that it wasn't going to happen.
So you were going to be a victim of a robbery, is that right?
Maybe.
Well, tell us what happened. What were the circumstances?
Let me calm down. Are you ready?
He's just asking you a question to explain what the circumstances were all about. It's not a complicated question.
I just let him know that I wasn't going to allow him to rob me. That's what that was all about.
What led you to believe that you were going to be robbed?
Because Taz told me he had intentions. He was a thief.
This is the fella country?
Yes.
Taz told you, look out for country, he's going to rob you, right?
Yes. Something like that.
And you decided that to kind of get the jump on the situation, you'd hit him with a blackjack, right?
Yes.
Before he tried to rob you?
Yes.
So you kind of took the initiative thinking he's going to rob me, I'm going to bash his head in with a blackjack, is that right?
Absolutely.
And then you pulled a gun on him just to make sure that he wouldn't rob you, is that right?
Let him know I meant real business, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes?
And did you carry this blackjack around with you?
No, counselor.
There was another situation where you used the blackjack on somebody, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
I received word that somebody had robbed a friend of mine and they had an idea where he was at. And we wanted to see the guy, and we beat him up.
And you hit him with a blackjack?
A Chinese blackjack. It collapses. You can pull it back in and out, open it up, hit him in the head, close it back up.
All right, maybe the jury is not familiar with a Chinese blackjack. It's a metal thing that you use to, what is it?
It's a metal, something like the police use today, but they have a black one. But Chinese is a little bigger, and it can expand. You open the door like that, it opens up.
So you got your hands out a couple of feet, right? Yep, it opens up.
Yes, it opens up. It's made out of steel. Hit in the face. Put it away.
And you did that on 2 occasions that you remember, right?
Excuse me for laughing. Yes, counselor.
Well, when you hit the fellow with the blackjack, was he laughing, sir?
I can't say, counselor. I don't remember.
Well, you told us, sir, that a woman acted inappropriate with you in a grocery store. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you beat her senseless with a car jack. Is that right?
Yes.
Was that the Chinese blackjack or a different?
That was not the blackjack at all.
What was it?
It was a car jack. You know, like the old ones you used to jack your car up on. The metal one.
Right. Were you just kind of carrying that around?
No, counselor.
Well,
I went into my house and got it.
all right. So what had the woman done in your memory to you which resulted in you beating her with a car jack?
She had pulled a shotgun on me, counselor.
All right. So you were in a store, right?
Yes.
She pulled a shotgun on you in the store?
Yes.
And what did you do?
At that particular time, I couldn't do anything.
Well, eventually you got a car jack, right?
You asked me what I did. I answered. I could do not anything.
All right, after not doing anything, did you do something?
Yes.
What did you do then?
I went home. I got the metal car jack, caught her off guard, and beat her up.
And was she still in the store at the time?
No, she was outside.
And did she live?
Absolutely.
And where did you hit her with the car jack?
In her head. In her arms.
Ever arrested for that?
No.
Did you know the woman?
No.
When you told us earlier today when you were living on Clifton Place, somebody tried to sell you some fraudulent garbage or something like that?
Yeah, some items. Yes.
What were these items?
You know, like, it was a whole game back in the day. You could put bricks in a box and make it look like you had some kind of VCR or something like that. Some fraudulent stuff. It was like a con game.
Alright, and you weren't interested in buying the fraudulent stuff, right?
No, I wasn't.
So you pulled a gun on the guy?
No. He disrespected me. It was unjustified me putting a gun in his face, but I blew my top.
Does that happen to you occasionally? You blow your top?
It's been a long time since that happened, counselor.
Back in the day when you were younger?
Yes.
Sometimes you would get agitated and become violent?
I went to jail for that.
For what?
For blowing my top.
What was that?
Oh, wow. I went to jail. I did a zip 3 for manslaughter, counselor.
Oh, when you stabbed the guy in the heart?
Yes, sir.
But you were 19 at the time, right?
Yes.
When did you kind of stop being violent?
A long while now.
I'm sorry?
A long while. It's been a long, long time.
Back when this guy was trying to sell you some fraudulent VCRs or something, you pulled a gun on him, right?
Yes.
How old were you then?
I can't recall.
But you now say that was really not a good thing to do, right?
The killing of the man that I killed wasn't good to do either, counselor.
Well, we've established that. I'm talking about the man who tried to sell you a phony VCR. You pulled a gun on him?
No, I shouldn't have allowed myself to be so weak-minded at the time.
That was an overreaction.
Without a doubt.
Now, you told us about this fellow Taz, right?
Right.
And eventually, now you had been a witness to the murder of Taz's father. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you more of the father's age or closer to Taz's age?
No, I was more the father's age.
Okay, and over time, you became friendly with Taz, right?
Without a doubt.
And you've testified before that actually you had love for him or something. Is that right?
Yeah, I had blind love. Yes, I did.
Tell us, if you don't mind, tell the jury anyway when you say you had blind love for Taz. What did that mean?
Meaning that, if my love had been really like it was supposed to be, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
So am I to assume that blind love was Taz got you to do things that you were in love with him that ordinarily you wouldn't do?
Sir, we're in the year 2015. I was in love with him? What do you mean by that?
He has asked you what you mean by blind love.
Meaning I would turn a blind eye.
You liked him a lot, so you would turn a blind eye towards him. Is that what that means?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he explained himself. Next question.
Now you've told us that you pled guilty to the conspiracy with regard to the Darryl Baum murder, right?
No, I didn't plead guilty to that.
What did you plead guilty to?
To J.R. Hamilton.
I'm sorry, you're right. I apologize. You pled guilty to being in the conspiracy with the J.R. Hamilton's murder. Is that right?
Yes, I went along with it.
And when you pled guilty, you said that you did it as pursuant to your involvement with Cash Money Brothers. Is that right?
Yeah, because I didn't have no beef with him.
But you've also told us that you have never been a member of Cash Money Brothers. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, meaning you never have?
Never been a member at all.
All right. And what was your relationship with Cash Money Brothers?
Well, some of them had embraced Islam, and that's where the relationship comes into.
So were you kind of a religious advisor to them?
Well, I taught them the fundamentals of Islam.
And Cash Money Brothers, at least it appears, was involved in murders and drug dealings. Is that right?
Yes. That's what they said. Yeah.
Well, that's not true.
I only can speak on what I know.
Right?
I can't speak on their history, counselor.
Right. So had you heard on the streets that Cash Money Brothers were involved in murders and drug dealings?
I mean as a gang. Like a gang.
A gang?
Yeah.
Right. And you were trying to get them to be more observant of a particular religion?
Those who I came in contact. I didn't go to preach to the entire CMBC or whatever you called them.
Right. But I imagine the religion that you believed in didn't endorse murder or drug dealing. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely not. It was a contradiction.
And yet you lived kind of a contradiction?
Without a doubt, counselor, it's very shameful.
No, I'm not casting dispersions.
I'm casting it. I'm speaking the truth. It's a shame.
So you had certain religious beliefs that you thought you believed in, right?
Excuse me now?
You had and have certain religious beliefs, right?
Without a doubt.
But you would, in a sense, violate your own religious beliefs by getting involved at least in one murder, it appears, right?
Yes.
And something to do with drugs, right?
Yes.
And something to do with guns, right?
Yes.
And you didn't sell drugs, did you?
I sold them for that 30 days. Yes, I did.
Just that one time period?
Yes.
That was for Taz when he was locked up or unavailable?
He didn't have them at that spot anymore.
So you took it over?
Yes.
Made some money?
Yes.
But that was really it, right?
That was it.
You didn't bag up drugs, right?
No, I didn't bag up no drugs. But I was guilty. I ran the spot, counselor.
I understand.
Okay.
For 30 days?
Yes.
And that was it?
That was it.
So you didn't take orders from anybody in Cash Money Brothers, right?
No. They had nothing to do with it.
So everything you did because you wanted to do it, right?
Yes.
I mean, you weren't working for anybody, right?
No.
I mean, you might be working with Taz, but you weren't working for Taz. Is that right?
Exactly.
Now, how did you meet Abu Bakr Rahim?
Elmira State Penitentiary in Downstate.
And after you met him, when you were out on the street, there was a situation where somebody brought somebody to you and interrogated him about some crime. Do you remember that?
What are you talking about? You have to be more specific.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, it's something to do with a fraud scheme with paper and checks. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And KC was involved?
Yes.
Who was KC?
KC was an associate of Abu Bakr's, a friend of Abu Bakr.
Now, was Abu Bakr part of Cash Money Brothers?
No.
Did he have the same religious beliefs that you had as far as you know?
Yes. Absolutely.
And what was the situation where they brought a guy in and interrogated him? What was that all about?
You are talking about when they brought the guy to the house at nighttime?
Yes.
That had nothing to do with Abu Bakr. That was KC and something about robbing Armani.
Who's Armani?
Armani Exchange or some clothing store in Manhattan.
And what did you have to do with that?
They brought the guy to my house because they had nowhere to take him.
And where were you living?
202 Clifton Place.
And who brought the guy to your house?
KC and another character.
And what did you have to do with that?
They needed a place to interrogate him. I can't even tell you how the guy looks.
So you were home, or where you were living was just an area or a place where they brought the guy to interrogate?
Without a doubt.
And that's all you know about that?
Yes.
Now, as you said, you were present when Patrick Cook was murdered, right?
Yes.
Patrick Cook was the father of Taz, right?
Yes.
Do you believe that Darryl Baum, who is known as T-Rock, helped set up that murder, right?
I don't believe that at all.
Did you not testify previously that T-Rock was there and took his hat off?
That's not believing. That's knowing.
All right. So you are certain, I'll give you that. You are absolutely certain that T-Rock, Darryl Baum, set up the murder of Patrick Cook?
He was part of the setup as soon as I'm talking to you right now.
And that was when he was wearing a gray suit and took his hat off?
Yeah, gray outfit.
And later on you met Taz, right? The son of the man who was killed, right?
Yes.
But you don't tell him that you know who killed his father for years and years, right?
Correct, counselor.
And what was the reason that you didn't tell? I mean, did it ever come up you became close to Taz, right?
Yes.
And Taz, would he ever talk about the fact that his dad was killed?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That was a pretty important thing in his life, I would imagine.
Well, that was my call. Counselor, I didn't have to tell him,
I'm not suggesting that you had to tell him.
and I chose not to tell him.
And what was the reason for that?
To save his life. Or somebody else's.
So it was in your mind that if you told Taz that T-Rock, Tyrone Baum, had been responsible for the death of his father, then Taz might then have a moment or desire to kill T-Rock?
Or get killed in the process.
And because of your relationship with Taz, you didn't want him to be killed, is that right?
Absolutely.
So you eventually protected him?
Yes.
And at some point you told him, right?
Yes.
And when you told him, Taz, I have to tell you, Tyrone Baum, T-Rock, was responsible for the death of your father, what was his reaction?
He was upset.
And how soon before T-Rock was killed had you told Taz that?
About 3 years. Maybe longer than that.
Now you described someone that you call Zach, is that right?
Yes.
Now is that the same as Puff?
Yes. The one and the same.
And he was the one that had that very expensive Mercedes CLK car, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you know whether Puff was a member of Cash Money Brothers?
No, he was not.
And did you know what his relationship was with Cash Money Brothers?
He was an associate.
Kind of like you, is that right?
Yes.
And as an associate, and you were an associate, so speaking from your experience, would you kind of know everything that was going on?
No. Everyone who associates with them did not have the same level of knowledge.
And did you get the feeling sometimes that, in fact, because you weren't an actual member, that people weren't telling you things? Is that right?
Without a doubt. I didn't care to know.
You are saying you didn't care to know?
No, I didn't care to know.
Why did you hang around with these fellows if you weren't a member?
I said to you, I came to know these individuals out of religious associations. It was for the religion, counselor. They embraced Islam. So therefore, now I have a connection to them.
Alright, and so your motivation was, these are people who are interested in my religion. I'm going to associate with them because it's of that interest. Is that right?
Yes.
And you weren't making any money from this association, right?
No. Only when I was dealing with the money was with Taz.
And that was just in Utah's, right?
Yes.
I mean, you weren't making money for Cash Money Brothers?
Absolutely not.
Nobody was paying you to deal drugs or give you any cut of business, right?
No, absolutely not.
And most of the time you might not even know what was going on, right?
I didn't know most of the time.
There came a time that somebody, a crack addict, stole some copper pipes from a place you had been living?
Yes, counselor.
And Taz, you say, slapped the teeth out of his mouth, right?
Yes, indeed he did.
And were you there at the time?
Yes.
And when you say that, maybe I don't understand. What does that mean? He slapped him in the face so hard his teeth came out.
The palm of his hand reached back a little bit. The palm to face, teeth fall out mouth.
And you saw that, is that right?
Indeed, counselor.
And Taz did that for you, right? It wasn't Taz's problem, it was your problem, right?
Yeah. I didn't ask him to do it. He volunteered.
And you told us about someone named Rab, right?
Yes.
Now, who was Rab?
A very dear friend of mine.
What kind of activities did Rab get involved with?
He was part of the plastic game.
Part of the plastic game?
Yes.
Was he a religious person like you?
Yes.
But you did credit card fraud with Rab, right?
Yes.
And you did some of the guns with Rab, is that right?
I transported a gun for him one time. Yes.
Was he in a gang?
No.
Rab was not in a gang?
No.
When what happened to Rab? Is he still around?
No. Rab is deceased.
Now eBay you met through Taz, right?
Yes.
Your understanding was eBay was a member of Cash Money Brothers, right?
Yes.
You developed a good relationship with eBay, is that right?
Indeed, I did.
And sometimes you went to Coney Island with eBay, is that right?
I don't ever recall going to Coney Island. Oh, maybe. Yeah, with Taz in the car, yeah.
Well, at least one time did you stay over there one time?
I used to live in Coney Island, counselor.
Okay. And do you remember eBay being in the hospital?
Absolutely.
And that would have been in the first week of February of 2004?
Yeah. If that's the what date was, yes. I can't remember exactly what the date was.
And you went to visit him in the hospital?
Yes.
He had a serious head injury, right?
He had a serious head injury. Well, he was shot at point-blank range.
And people thought he might die from being shot in the head, right?
Yeah, some people thought that.
Now, who introduced you to eBay?
Taz did.
So most of your relationships with Cash Money Brothers people, supposedly with the Cash Money Brothers, came through Taz?
Without a doubt.
And some of the information that you shared with us today you got from Taz, right?
Taz and others.
Like the murder of this fella Kojak, Taz told you about that, right?
Yes.
Who is Kojak?
Kojak was somebody that was living in LG and was supposed to have supplied the gun that killed Wise, which is World's brother.
And you weren't present for the killing of Kojak, right?
No, I was not.
In fact, with regard to most of the murders that you testified today, except for your own situation, you were not present for the murders, right?
That is true.
When you were told with regard to Kojak that Thor, Dwayne Myers killed Kojak. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Did you ever talk with Thor about that?
I can't recall. It was, but he admitted that he killed him.
To you?
In my presence.
Thor did?
Yes.
And who else was present at that time?
Taz and some others? I don't remember everybody.
And do you know when that took place?
No, I can't remember.
Now, you told us about the time that Darryl Baum was murdered. You told us about that, right?
Yes, I did.
And I think you told us that Taz had told you that Darryl Baum, homo, had been extorting you, is that right?
Yes.
And that he, Taz, wanted to kill Darryl Baum, right?
Yes.
For that very reason that he was angry at Darryl Baum, who was extorting him, right?
Yes.
Did you learn what the nature of the extortion was?
What do you mean the nature of the extortion? What are you talking about?
Taz told you, I want to kill homo, he's extorting me, right?
Yes.
Okay, what did you understand that to mean?
That he wanted... Well, Darryl Baum wanted Taz to work for him, and Taz wasn't having it, so he avoided him.
Taz was avoiding homo?
Yes.
And where did the extortion come in?
The extortion was he was trying to get him to work for him, meaning that, you got the spot over there on Quincy and Nostrand. Now you have to work for me.
Homo was trying to muscle him, essentially?
Without a doubt.
And Taz was pushing back on that. Is that right?
Big time.
And in fact wanted to kill Homo for that very reason. Is that right?
Yes.
Because of this drug dispute. Is that right?
Yes.
And it appears that Darryl Baum was in fact killed, right?
Without a doubt.
And you weren't there, but you heard about it, right?
Yes.
Who did you hear that from?
That was in streets.
Just word in the streets?
Yeah. Homicide got killed last night, etc., etc., etc.
Okay. But did anybody specifically tell you what had happened?
Taz did.
And when did he tell you that?
I don't know, the next day or the day after.
All right. So Taz was present. You were present, right?
As far as what? Him telling me who killed Darryl Baum?
Right?
Yes.
And Puff was present, right?
I never said that.
Okay. All right. So you don't remember who was present?
I just told you Taz was present.
Okay.
Anyone else I don't recall, counselor?
Okay. Taz gave you a gun, right?
Yes.
And he tells you this was the gun that was used to kill Darryl Baum?
No.
Did you kind of put it together that...
The next day. Counselor.
I'm sorry?
The next day.
I'm asking you about the gun.
Yes.
The next day, Taz comes to you and says, Darryl Baum was killed, right?
No, he doesn't. The next day, he doesn't talk to me as far as he doesn't come and tell me that homicide was killed. I put that together myself.
You just assumed that this was the gun. You say you put it together yourself. What do you mean by that?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. The night before homicide was killed, eBay, Zach, Taz comes to the front of my door and passes me off a weapon. And they said, Taz says we got busy. Okay. That means either they killed somebody or they robbed somebody, without telling me exactly to whom that gun was a victim upon. The next day, I realized that this was the gun that killed Darryl Baum.
You assume that that was the gun, right? That's what you mean?
Yes.
All right, we've been going for some time. This may be a good time to take a break. How much more do you have of cross-examination?
I don't want to say, Judge, I think.
I'm just gauging things so we can end Friday by completing his testimony. So just give me a sense after that. We'll take a 10-minute break.
I'll try to get it done today, Judge.
Okay, be back at 4 promptly.
All rise. You all may be seated.
Okay, let's continue. Let's finish with this witness. The end of the week would be a great way to finish him if we can, all right? So he doesn't have to come back on Tuesday. Do you think we can do that? Without putting you under pressure, let's try to see if we can do that.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Henderson, when we broke off, we were talking about the Darryl Baum murder and Taz had told you about that. Is that right?
Yes.
And Taz told you that he actually witnessed it? Is that your understanding?
No, he never told me he witnessed it.
Sorry?
He never told me he witnessed it.
He didn't tell you he saw the murder?
He told me how it was done.
So when he was telling you how it was done, did you ask him, well, how do you know that?
Well, yeah. I don't know if I asked him. I assumed that, he knew exactly what he was talking about.
Alright, you assumed it, but you're not even sure today if he even saw the murder. Is that right?
It's great possibility that he did.
But you don't know? You don't know of your own personal knowledge one way or the other, do you?
No.
Okay, that's the answer.
Okay. Did he tell you whether Boo Flair was out there?
I know Boo Flair wasn't there.
He wasn't there?
Not that I know of.
Well, everything you knew about this is based on what someone told you, right?
Yes, sir.
And it sounded like Taz was the one with the main source of the information, right?
Yes.
And based on what you knew from Taz, Boo wasn't even out there that day?
Not that I know of.
And was Puff, or the guy you call Zach, was he out there?
I believe so. Yes.
Based on what Taz told you?
He drove the getaway car.
And was anyone else out there holding down the situation? Not the shooter, but someone out there with a gun holding it down?
Now that you are rambling my memory, to my understanding, yes.
You are just remembering it now?
Yes, counselor.
And this is what Taz told you?
Yes.
And what did Taz tell you that?
Boo Flair was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yes, he was.
So when I asked you about it a minute ago and you said no, not to your knowledge, Boo wasn't there, and now you're saying he was there?
Now I remember? Yes. Yes.
Because Taz told you that?
Yes.
And Boo was out there holding a gun. Is that right?
I don't know about holding a gun, but Boo was there with a gun.
Doing something.
He was there holding the gun.
But Taz never told you what Boo was doing?
Obviously, he was there for backup.
Well, I'm not saying obviously, I'm just saying what Taz told you.
For backup, I do remember.
You can remember that now?
Yes.
This was a while ago, right?
Yes.
This was in the year. This is 15 years ago, right?
15 years ago, I can't recall that.
Well, it was June of 2000 when Hamo was killed. Do you remember that?
I remember he was killed. I don't really give too much mind about how long.
And you testified in another trial about 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. Is that right?
About 7 years ago?
Right. But now you're saying 15 years later you remember that Taz told that you Boo was out there?
Yes.
What else did Taz tell you?
I think you went over this. Haven't you gone over this time and time again now? I think he answered your questions.
And the basis of your information about this is from Taz. Is that right?
He said that many times.
Yes?
Mr. Herman, he said that over and over and over again. Move on to something else.
And when it came time to go to the funeral for Darryl Baum, you rode in what you knew to be the felony car, right?
Yes.
This was that fancy Mercedes that Puff or Zach owned. Is that right?
Yes.
And why did you decide to ride in the car that you believed was used in the homicide?
Well, I was shocked. I told Abu Bakr I didn't feel too comfortable about that.
About what?
Riding in that particular car.
Well, did anyone make you get in the car?
No. No, I accept responsibility for that.
So you were shocked, but you got in the car anyway?
Yes.
And was this intended as kind of a brazen move to show people that, that Darryl Baum, people that, we can use this car for his murder and we can show up at his funeral in the car?
That, you would have to ask Abu Bakr.
I'm asking you why you got the car.
Because I was with Abu Bakr.
And he said, let's go to the funeral in this car that was used in the murder.
Yes.
And you got in?
Yes.
Now, in terms of the J.R. Hamilton murder, and you knew J.R. Hamilton, right?
Yes, I did.
And you had been by his restaurant?
Never.
Well, you said you went by around the time he was killed, right?
Yes.
You passed by his restaurant?
Yes.
You've never been to the restaurant, is that right?
No.
You weren't present when he was murdered, right?
No.
You were involved before he got murdered, right?
Yes.
And that had to do with the mole and some story or some information that people were going to kill World and kill Taz, right?
Yes.
And so it was your understanding this was going to be kind of an anticipatory strike, is that right?
Be more specific, counselor.
Well, I think you said it was kind of street self-defense or something, illegal self-defense you said, right?
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Meaning it was kill or be killed.
All right. And who was going to be killed?
Who was going to be killed?
Who was your understanding was going to be killed?
Their desire was to kill World and to kill Taz.
And that's because the mole, who you didn't know, right?
Yes.
And where was the mole inside the enemy camp?
In the Hamilton camp.
So your understanding was that somebody in the Hamilton camp leaked the information to Taz that those people wanted to kill him, right?
Yes.
And therefore that was the motivation to kill J.R. Hamilton, right?
Yes.
And this was discussed at St. John's, is that right?
You mean
beforehand?
it could have been St. John's? It could have been other places.
Well, when you were discussing this, when you were hearing this, where were you?
I was in the car.
On the day that you scoped out the restaurant?
Be more specific, counselor, because now you are confusing me.
I'm not intending to confuse you. When did you hear about this information about the mole who was providing information?
That's before. That's before the night that he was shot.
And when was that? How much before?
A while ago. Like, maybe weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay. And you were involved with the plan to kill J.R. Hamilton. Is that right?
I'm not involved in the plan. I went along with it. I didn't plan anything.
Well, that's the case you pled guilty to, right?
Yeah, it doesn't mean I planned his.
What was your involvement in the conspiracy that you pled guilty to? I think that's the question.
I didn't object to it at all. After I learned that J.R. Hamilton, Mike Tyson, and Muhammad Noor had put up money to kill them, I felt they had a right to defend themselves. Illegally, but nevertheless.
So you acquiesce in it? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you tell me. You said you pled guilty to a conspiracy to be part of that murder, so I'm giving you an opportunity to explain to the jury why you did that.
I went along with it, Your Honor.
Because you went along with it?
Yes, I didn't object.
Okay, that's his answer. Go ahead.
So when you pled guilty to this offense, is that what you told the judge, that you kind of just went along with it?
I didn't call the police. If you know somebody is planning to kill somebody, you have to tell the police.
And that's the basis of your guilty plea in this case?
Do you remember what told the judge at the time that, you pled guilty? You can answer that if you can recall.
I can't recall, Your Honor.
You went before a judge, right? And you had to tell them what you did, right? You are pleading guilty to a crime like that, right?
Right.
Do you remember what you told the judge?
I can't recall.
Can't recall. Go ahead.
All right. With the court's permission, I'll show a page 13 of a proceeding which took place on June 6th, 2008, which involved you. I'll show you page 13. This would be the witness only, Your Honor.
This is the allocution before the court?
Yes, it is, Judge.
If everyone agrees, I'll let you read. It's up to you. Counsel, you have any objection to the jury hearing this?
I don't have any, Judge.